What's up, everyone? It's Roll Call episode 36 with the one and only DJ Nimbus. And guys, I'm so happy that we made this happen because he was supposed to be episode 17. Was it 17? Maybe it was 19. I don't remember, but it was a while ago. And I'm just so happy that we made this happen because
it happened when it was supposed to.
You're a rock star. Had to get you on here before the end of 23. You've been traveling all over the globe. You've been flying your drone and DJing everywhere and doing park parties and just doing your nights and, you know, yeah, a little bit of everything. You're so well versed.
Well practiced.
Well, well, not well trained like last night.
Yeah, no training, well practiced.
So, for the people that do not know DJ Nimbus, you've been under a rock. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Well, the name, obviously, DJ Nimbus, is a name that I chose for several reasons. When I decided I was going to become a DJ, I wanted a name that people would remember, not only what the music meant, but the things surrounding the music.
Yes.
So Nimbus is a cloud. It's the most powerful one. It's the one known for thunderstorms.
Ooh.
It's the biggest and the baddest of them all. But
okay.
The music was more represented by what this cloud does. I mean, we know about the thunderstorm, and
yes.
you know, you think scary and all of that, but it's also powerful and relaxing. Most people like when it rains. You know,
it's true.
And, you know, you can talk about the things that it may inspire you to do, whether it's making love or reflecting.
The quiet storm.
All of that wrapped in one thing, and just its natural beauty before it rains. You know,
yes.
You get lightning and things that, you know, are very awe-inspiring when you see it, its presence. And I think that kind of encapsulated who I wanted to be as a musician.
Yes, absolutely.
From a marketing standpoint, this is way back when I was first figuring out where I was going to go in life with this. I was like, if I had to make mix CDs, because that's when I started, it was pre-digital.
Right.
I was like, these CD covers have to be artistic, but you'll never run out of nature backgrounds because nature is different every day.
Yes.
And that's something that carried into my DJing. Every show has been different. It was a moment in time, and whatever happened that day was special for that day.
Yes.
Based on the people, the atmosphere, the ambiance, when, where, all jumbled up, and I wrote the soundtrack for that day, specifically for that day. And I think that's what nature does.
Oh yeah.
So
it renews itself every day. And, you know, speaking of nature, that's why I'm glad we got this beautiful nature view. You are a nature boy. You grew up in Austin.
I grew up in Austin. My mom's side of the family is from the country in Cedar Lane, which the closest city that you might know is either Lake Jackson or Bay City.
Okay.
But it's 4 miles away from the ocean. Therefore, why I fish, because that was the family tradition.
Okay.
My grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, all my cousins, that was our together bonding time. Longer than I could appreciate at an early age, but now, you know, most of them have passed on, but it's something that I still retain. And, you know, my parents gave me that at an early age. Now, I just kind of incorporated the music into it because you will almost never catch me fishing without music. Mostly house music, but it can be any of the music that I
But in your earbuds, or do you have like a Bluetooth?
I bring out a little speaker.
Oh, okay. You don't scare the fish away?
No, not in the ocean.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, if I was fishing out here, y'all can't see the lake, but there's a lake behind this camera.
There is.
I probably wouldn't be banging it out, but if I was sitting up here, I'd have it softly as long as I can hear it. The fish don't need to vibe to it, but I think it actually attracts the fish because it's ironic. All the people at the pier know me as the DJ because they get house music in Galveston whenever I'm there.
Nice.
But normally they could have not caught fish all day. I show up, turn on the music, and yank a big fish out, and they're just like, why?
How does he do it?
But the nature outdoors is like my little zen place. Peaceful, calming. It actually is my club since I play and work in the clubs to entertain other people.
Yeah.
You know, this is where I come to recharge, whether it's just on a trail, a lake, you know, on my YouTube channel, which is DJ Nimbus, you'll see videos of me literally going to some probably parts unknown. One of the last videos was in Camas, Utah, near Park City, which is where they do Sundance.
Yes.
So I have a good friend, Steve, Bayou Dave, out there. We went up into the mountains because it hadn't snowed yet. The snow was still at the top.
Oh, wow.
But we're like 2 miles up, and we're flying our drones through the snow-top mountain, just doing crazy stuff. I mean, we went and found a like 2,000 foot tall waterfall and flew all the way up.
Oh, wow.
So I do those kind of things.
Yeah.
When my wife was at Essence.
Okay.
She went couldn't have been Essence. She went to something, and I went there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on an adventure, and I'm gonna go to Utah.
That's awesome. Well, I love that. I love that, like, very curious spirit about you. I love that you are always roaming. You're always like traveling and always doing stuff. You're doing parties in other cities. You're bringing DJs here, and you're so well versed, and you're so like community oriented. I know that you've been on our scene for what, 20 years now?
20, going on 22.
22 years. He's been like on our scene, getting people to come out and enjoy house and soulful house and just sounds from all over the world. Tell us about some of your events that you hosted and continue to host.
So the one that is currently standing is Exposure. The name speaks for itself. I felt that house music, as a music created in the Black and brown community, had a lack of representation in the southern states where I live and grew up, which I did not even know that the music was created by those communities just because of the lack of representation here. So I'm not just a house music DJ, but it's what I chose to focus on because of the least amount of representation. But when I created Exposure, one half of the equation was to expose people who had never experienced it, so that they could actually say they've seen real and authentic house music in the way that I did in my early years, long before I became a DJ.
Yeah.
What made me interested to seek out this music.
Okay.
The other side of it was for those who were transplants from those places who this would be the closest thing they had to their home.
Yes. Because
some of them have moved here for better opportunities, career-wise and in other regards of their life, but then they hate everything about Houston because we didn't have some of the cultural nuances that they're accustomed to, which was everyday life for them. Right. And probably not even on our radar.
Or very underground.
Or very underground.
Yeah.
But even in the underground, I would say, and I say this being 22 years in, a lot of the people that are in our scene, very few of them have ever traveled outside of our scene. So their view is very limited to what they are presenting and sharing. No fault of theirs outside of the fact of lack of experience, and or even knowing that there is more out there to see. Yes. You know, I look at, and we DJs have this discussion all the time, especially some of my friends from other places, is the why we're different. Anybody can say what, it's understanding why. Right. And, you know, one of the things that I've shared with them is this place did not have people making house music en masse. So one of the oldest rules in music is your city plays what it makes. That's why some places are jazz heavy, because jazz is a part of their history, or soul, like Detroit, Motown. They are very serious about it. Yes. And even their house and other derivatives still have that tie. Music is a very central and important part of their life. Chicago, you know, being the birthplace of house music, they're very serious about their house, their history, their city, even to a fault where many of them may not embrace where it's gone and how it's outgrown the city. New York is the same, and you take that around the country. Texas, we didn't have a lot of these urban renaissances. Like hip-hop, we were last to get it from the migration of the East Coast to the West, up to the Midwest, then down south. Right. We had our own. We showed up hip-hop. When we showed up, and no, we created our own, but we were still last in line. Right. Ghetto Boys was a long time after Run DMC. And, you know, all the New York things, because New York was kind of like where everything was happening.
Right.
And truth be told, without New York, there'd be no house, because Larry Levan paved the way for Frankie Knuckles, both of New York, before he moved to Chicago.
Yes.
So when we look at how that relates to Texas, I can count probably on one hand how many known producers for house music in the big ecosystem of house are from Texas.
Right.
And one of them, who I'm going to have to give DeMarcus Lewis super shout out.
Oh yeah, Grin.
That's my boy. But I had a lot of his records and had no idea he was from Dallas, or that he always kids are like, with a name like DeMarcus, you should have known I was black. I was like, I didn't think about it. Just because I wasn't used to the association,
right,
coming from here. And I met him many years, and we've been cool ever since. But there's not a lot like him in this state. Now,
yes.
You go to Chicago, that's like every other person off the block. You go to Detroit, it's the same way. So being we didn't have that, I was like, okay, if we don't have anybody to make the music, we can at least show them the music.
Yes.
And maybe that might inspire. Now, I'll give a shout out to Wanji. He, but by way of New York, brought his talents and his cultural contributions to Houston. And he has a very large catalog on TrackSource, but again, most people don't think Houston house. So I chose to try to be a front runner and forerunner for that, or a house ambassador for Houston, as somebody said. And I wouldn't say I'm the only one, but I'm the one that probably made the most effort to be the most visible.
You're consistent. You're definitely consistent. And I think that people do appreciate that, like you said, especially from, you know, the Black and Latino community. Like, we definitely do appreciate consistency, because, you know, some people have left.
Yes, some people have moved on.
Yeah, some people have moved on, and some people just couldn't even plant their roots here for whatever reason. So kudos to you on that. What more can we expect from DJ Nimbus, like, in 24? Like, what do you got planned so far?
I'm still moving forward with exposure, so circling back to that. As far as the clubs are concerned, I've taken matters into my own hand and renting out a space to host the event. Therefore, the clubs will no longer hold the future of house music in that regard in their hands. Okay. So it is now up to the community to support something, because it is solely on us now.
Right.
So definitely going to be continuing to move forward. I've partnered with Jay Salam Jabril, for us to know him. He's in Atlanta now, but he's still very much integral part of our Houston scene. He's one of the pillars that has definitely
from the beginning.
From the beginning, so big shout out to him, and I'm thankful that he's a part of the community and team. And lots of people who, you know, life, as we said, has either removed them from the community in that capacity, but we still have to carry that torch on for them in 2024.
Absolutely.
I plan on doing the international DJ dates. I haven't got confirmation of whether or not I'll be in the lineup this year, but the event that I've done for the last 12 years in Playa del Carmen for Mikasa Holiday, shouts to Julius the Mad Thinker, we were moving to Cuba this year. So this will be the first year of Sweet 16. This 15th anniversary, we had Louis Vega. So definitely big things in that family. I'm gonna give a shout out to Oscar P. With the West Coast Weekender. I'm a part of that as well, and have basically helped him. And he's one of the DJs that's come down here and blessed us through exposure. So definitely looking to return to that if the event's going to happen this year. So a lot of travel things to bring visibility to Houston wherever possible. And I'd also like to find new opportunities, not just continuing the ones that I've been a part of for a good while. I DJ'd in Greece this past summer in August.
Nice.
And Crete.
Okay.
And they definitely liked what I did out there. So I'm definitely going to reach back out and see if there's any further opportunities, if not just to come back, but to either look at the other islands like Mykonos or Axos.
Oh, yeah.
restaurants. I've been in Ouzo Bay for the last 4 years. They're under a remodel, reconcept. So once they reopen, which is looking like it will be maybe in March or April, hopefully I'll be called back, because for 4 years that was a constant house music outlet every Saturday night.
Okay.
They had DJ Athens on Fridays and me on Saturdays, and you know, it was a great dinner vibe, but the music really underscored the experience. Because the place is a beautiful restaurant,
Right.
and it's in the River Oaks shopping district, so you know, nicer area. But I would say probably the first time that vein of house music had been offered in that type of environment.
Right.
Which I equate that equally as important as, say, our favorite dance party. You know, so every place isn't going to be a party, but I think the music should be present as
Absolutely.
many places
Yes.
as we can place it. So
Yes.
definitely going to be looking for more opportunities in that lane as well.
Yeah.
For 2024.
That's great. No, and you've definitely done some really great brunches. You have definitely like solidified the South, H-Town, even us, just
Austin's
Texas.
hometown.
Yeah,
Dallas.
absolutely. Dallas, everywhere.
Shouts to San Antonio.
Yeah, definitely.
DJ Underground Soul and R2.
Yes.
Rick Laura, Sprouts.
Absolutely. And I love that you've been making your shout outs. Where can we find DJ Nimbus online?
If I said Google, I would not be lying, but I've made my footprint so that if you type DJ Nimbus, you're going to find it in iTunes, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. There's about 100 syndicated podcasts that have basically commandeered my podcast as their own, which I'm fine with that. I'm looking at this one. It's on Podomatic is one.
Yes.
And then I have my Club Nimbus.blogspot still active.
Okay.
On all your social medias, Instagram at DJ Nimbus, YouTube, Facebook. I even got on TikTok. Goes against my religion, but half the world is on it. I'm not going to do any silly dances, but I will make announcements of all the things pertinent to real house music as they come.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be better about that, because TikTok,
I know. It's a whole other game, you know.
another game, but
It's
we
a whole
got to
other
play
game.
the game if we're going to win the game, right?
Well, I commend you and thank you for all your support over the years, playing some of my tunes in
yes,
your
I do.
sets. I really appreciate that.
House and neo soul.
Yes, and I need to drop more music for you. But thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me, and I will be sharing his socials at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. Follow DJ Nimbus because he's got some excellent parties. Go to Exposure and
subscribe to the podcast so you can get up to 400 mixes.
There you go.
For free.
There you go. And this guy's mixes are excellent. So definitely, if you're not local and he's not traveling to your area anytime soon, you can still tune in to DJ Nimbus. So thank you so much, and thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.